calling all men. I have a question for you. What is the most important thing about you? Well, I believe most people would answer that question this way. Well, the most important thing about me is to know myself and to make myself happy. Oh, we might live in the most self-centered moment in human history. We are a people who are obsessed with ourselves today. Consider the following for proof. We spend our money studying ourselves with tests like Enneagrams. We spend time writing endlessly about ourselves on social media. We exhaust our resources to further discover our anatomy. Now, of course, none of these things are inherently incorrect, but they are woefully insufficient to satisfy the human heart. Though we know more about ourselves than perhaps any other human beings throughout the history of the world, we are terribly unhappy. Researchers say that millennials, Gen Zs, and Generation Alphas have the highest anxiety levels than any other studied generation. What? How could a generation who knows themselves so well be so terribly unhappy? Well, the reason is quite simple. It is because we are studying the wrong person. So what then is the most important thing about you? Well, in 1948, a theologian named A.W. Tozer helps us to answer that very question when he says this. What comes to your mind when you think about God? That is the most important thing about you. Really? What comes to my mind when I think about God? That's the most important thing about me? Yes, it certainly is. This is the most important thing about us because our understanding of who God is will directly impact and influence how we choose to live our lives. It is God, not man, whom our souls were designed to know and to love and to worship. We were made by God and we were made for God. But in order to love God, we must first know God. Who is He? What does He say concerning Himself? Why did He call me to follow Him? And does any of that help me understand my purpose in life? Well, those are all questions that He answers for us throughout one of the most important books of the Bible, the book of Exodus. Throughout the book of Exodus, God draws His people in close. So close that we have no need to bring with us a pair of binoculars. As we will see in Exodus, He is not a far-off God. But why would God do this? The reason is simple but profound. Because He wants us to know Him. Oh, isn't that amazing? And because of this amazing reality, we are going to take God at His word and we are going to study the book of Exodus throughout our men's retreat this year. During our 2 teaching sessions, we will cover the book of Exodus and find fresh answers for who God is and what He says concerning Himself and how that should affect our lives. In other words, we are going to study God so that we might know God. It's truly going to be a remarkable time, and we can't wait to see you this year at the 2024 Know Your God Men's Retreat.